Okay, so now we'll try and understand how these guardrails have actually been configured inside the Foundry. So the thing is that Microsoft had actually at a very early stage started developing these responsible AI principles, and at that time they actually came up with something called Microsoft.default. And the good thing is that these are already available, and because we have a version 2 of it, and we will talk about that as well. But it's very important to understand what was there in the Microsoft default, right? So as it says, the Microsoft default guardrail establishes the baseline safety layer. It was at a very foundational level when they actually started. Right, and so if you ask me what it covered, it was basically a predefined set of controls which covered things like hate, sexual content, violence, self-harm, prompt attacks. So all these were actually covered in that. And also we are saying that it is automatically applied to ensure every AI interaction meets the fundamental ethical and safety standards. So any agent that you were creating, you were actually automatically, this guardrail was say attached to it, which was Microsoft default, right? And then the main things that are actually covered as per of this guardrail were number one, which was harmful content prevention, right? Very important thing. So it actually blocks the generation of violent, abusive, or dangerous material, right? As you can make out. So it runs at multiple stages, like you could be at the user input layer, the output layer, or any kind of tools or calls that you are making. Then the next one is one of the key aspects of the responsible AI, which is baseline ethical standards. Here it enforces the responsible AI principles, like ensuring you use safe language, no harmful instructions are given, and no disallowed content categories are used. Then the last but not the least is zero configuration safety. It is active out of the box. As I said, as you create an agent, it will automatically be attached to this as well. So no need to configure filters, define policies. It works immediately on deployment, right? And now there was an improvement. There was a big improvement from default to version V2, and we will actually take a look at that now. So in Microsoft Foundry, today if you ask me, the Microsoft default V2 is the default guardrail assigned to models, right? Very important. As the name suggests, default, but the default V2 is actually the default standard now. So agents actually inherit it unless you override it. So if you now create an agent today, automatically you will see, and we will take a look in a demo as well, it would be attached to Microsoft default V2. So it is a collection of controls and policies that detect risk, decide when to intervene, and take the action. So what was the biggest change? So biggest change was that V2 is more context aware, it is more configurable, it is enterprise ready safety layer, right? So if we talk about what are the key aspects, the very first one is advanced content filtering, right? So it detects subtle harmful patterns. So in V2, not just keyword based filtering, it uses classification models to detect indirect harm, prompt injections, jailbreak attempts, contextual toxicity. So example could be how to hypothetically bypass a system, right? So this could be flagged. Then we talk about very important thing is bias mitigation. So a lot of people don't know that LLMs are actually biased. Yes, based on race, caste, creed, these LLM models can be biased, right? So in V2, it helps you to build on the responsible AI principles by reducing the stereotypes, harmful generalization, and it applies across the input and output stages. It's not perfect, but still much more context aware than V1. Then we talk about the nuanced response management, which is severity and context. So it handles ambiguous or borderline requests, right? So it uses severity levels like low, medium, high threshold, allowing partial filtering instead of full blocking, and context-based decisions. Very important, right? Then it is much more configurable, so you get the fine-grained control. You can configure risk categories like hate, violence, severity thresholds, intervention points, and you can control what gets sent to the tools, what comes back, and what reaches the user, right? So remember, in Foundry, the agent uses the guardrail assigned to it, not necessarily the model's guardrail, right? So, and you can override Microsoft default v2 with custom guardrails, and we will see that as well. So the good thing about Foundry is that it allows you to actually create your own guardrail. You can select, let's say you are interested more often jailbreak, prompt injections, right? So you can actually build your own guardrail as well, right? So I think you got a good understanding. Remember, Microsoft.default v2, it's an intelligent, configurable guardrail in Foundry that adds context awareness, fine-grained control, and enterprise-grade safety beyond the basic filtering. Thanks for watching.